Hey everyone, Kirk Simpson here for Atlanta Carnivorous Gardens. Today is June 2nd, so all of our spring plants look their very best. So we wanted to take you on a brief garden tour, show you around how everything looks, and just show you all the greatness that's right behind me. So hope you guys like this. Definitely let me know if you have any questions, anything you want us to cover. We're happy to do that. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you like it. Okay, so we'll get you started right here with the fly traps right out front. They had a really good initial burst in the spring. Then things got kind of rainy. They got a little bit more beat up after the rainy, overcast weather. But they're bouncing back quick, and this second wave has really come on. So we're seeing some really nice traps coming out. There's our mother collection of B52 right there. But this is where our biggest fly trap specimens kind of stay. This is where we usually divide from if we divide during the winter. You can see lots of good varieties in there. Always looking to add more, but they're exciting. They're really nice plants. Really like these, and the way they look this time of year is just great. You can still see lots and lots of flowers. Usually you'd have to pollinate those by hand if we want seeds. Sometimes we do if we want to make a specific cross. Fortunately for us though, our pollinator garden is actually located right behind this, so we get lots of activity from the bees who love to go ahead and pollinate these flowers for us. Which gives us great seed and great seed sets so we can start new fly traps during midsummer. The bees usually don't fall victim to the fly traps themselves. However, the wasps seem to be really attracted to them and just can't keep away from them. So they trap a lot of wasps this time of year as they're out collecting nectar. But yeah, really good looking part of the collection. Very excited to see how this does this year. We had kind of a setback last year moving to a new location. Our fly traps really didn't look their best, but we're excited now that they're all settled and in their new house. They seem to really like it, so excited for a good year. So we'll go ahead and move along to, these are our two hanging baskets. We have three varieties of web-leafed sundews, and this is probably my favorite. This is Multifida extrema. It's known for having extremely forked leaves, and this is still a pretty young plant here, although you can already kind of see just how forked these leaves can become. And as that grows and fills out the entire pot, that's going to look really impressive. You can see how the sun lights up the dew right there. And then this one is Marston's Dragon, which also forks a whole lot, but not quite as much as Multifida extrema. Still a really nice plant. I mean, you can see that's just glowing in the sunlight. Really cool to see right there. Covered in insects, already blooming. Really great plant. They're winter hardy. We leave them out in the winter, they die back to the roots and come back in the spring. Haven't tried it with these two varieties, but our mother plant over here, which is our third variety, which is Dichotoma giant. And you can see that's in a big pot spilling over the edge, just a giant mother plant that's very happy and does very well for us, and also traps a lot of insects. So a really cool plant there. Again, we leave that over the winter and let it die back to the roots. Comes back in the spring, usually even better and bigger than last year. Here's some of our seedlings. A lot to cover here, so we won't really go too in depth with everything, but definitely feel free to ask questions if you see something that catches your eye. Here's some of our sundew trays. They're a little bit mixed this time of year because we're trying to create space, but some filiformis, threadleaf sundews right there, along with some intermedia there, and just kind of a mixed bag over here. Here are some of our named seedlings. Most of these are a Flava crossed with Adrian Slack or an Alata crossed with Adrian Slack, something of that variety. So we're excited to see how those mature. You can see some of the bigger ones there. There's a, I think that one's a Blood Moon by Adrian Slack. Really nice plant right there. A lot more of our seedlings. These are where some of our older miscellaneous hybrids go. You can see a nice Scarlet Bell down there. That's looking really good this time of year, as well as some really flush red plants over here. So very excited to see how those all grow, but they look great as young seedlings. Here's another good trait right over here. Always got to be careful not to step on anything, but you can see that's a pretty nice clone right there. It's a Complex Moriae from Olivier Brice over in France. Seed I got from him, I think, in 2018. And so these are all siblings. You can see just how much variety you get when you start a single seed pod. Some of these are red with these exotic white tops. Some of these are more on the green side, but still have some really cool veining and shapes. And some are a little bit more pale. Here's our Sarracenia tray down here. A lot of these are from open pollinated Sarracenia seed. So may not be pure species, but definitely mostly Sarracenia. A really cool plant. I think it's very underrated as a species. So really excited to see how these mature. There's some anthro-free clones right there that are all green. Try and keep my shadow out of the way. These are our Purpurea. These are mostly from Tattnall County in Georgia, Venosa. So really red and veiny. That's what kind of a mother plant looks like right there. But yeah, all these seedlings should be ready here in the next few weeks. Trying to see how they're gonna look. They're still adjusting from the lights inside to moving outside, so really nice clones there. Here's some other hybrids that we're excited to see grow up outside. They're still adjusting to life outside, so some really great clones in here. Here's our Leucophila tray for our smaller Leucophilas. And we'll start off with, you can see some antho-free clones up here. There's a particularly nice seedling. This is Wilkerson's Red by Hurricane Creek from Carson Trexler. There's two clones in there, but that one's the tallest. And they both just look great. Really excited about those. And then moving over here are the Flavas. And some really, really choice stuff in here. This is an Atropurpurea from Calen Hall. It's just, I mean, it's just cherry red through and through. Really, really nice plant. There's an Ornata, I believe that's from Dean Cook over at Cook's Carnivorous Plants. Here is Extreme Red Throat. Pretty easy to see how it got that name. Some nice Rubricorpas. You see some butterflies fluttering about. Rugelii back there. And then we got some rubras back here. They're usually a little bit slower to get going in the spring, but still look pretty happy, so excited to see how they look. Here's another seedling tray that I am really, really excited about this offspring. This is Blood Moon by Flava rubricorpa. And I say this a lot, but this time it really bears true. It is really tough to capture just how deep red all these pictures are on camera. I mean, they are just solid in between, I would say, burgundy and purple. There are some varieties in here that are a little bit more on the yellow side, but generally they open up on the yellow side like that, and then as they age, they slowly become just solid red, purple. Really nice plants, very vigorous. As you would imagine, they're spring plants. Haven't seen them really perform in the fall, but we'll see this year, but would expect those to look better in the spring than the fall generally. Here's some Leuco by Adrian Slack seedlings that I'm also very, very excited about. Here's a pretty nice one right there. A lot of them have that kind of trademark Adrian Slack window pattern. So here's the one that I am most excited about, and it's just starting to color up for the year, but it'll get more and more pink as these pictures age. But what I'm really excited about here is the shape actually on the pictures. I think that's a really important thing when you're looking at your seedlings and trying to evaluate. And I really, really like the shape on this. I think it's a nice trumpet kind of shape with the wavy lid, pink colors, white top, just a really gorgeous plant right there. This is a Flava rubricorpa by Caprea that obviously kept more of the rubricorpa than Caprea, but also turning into a really, really handsome plant. You can see the shape on that, colors, everything there is really, really nice. This is Flava Black Veins from Bullitt County. This is Damon's clone, Damon Collingsworth over at California Carnivores. Really, really cool plant. I love the shape of those pictures, love the colors, everything looks really nice. Should be really good to breed with as well and make nice seedlings with. This is Flava biluco by Luco, I believe, from Cook's Carnivorous Plants. And I think it's a really underrated plant. He sells a lot of these. I see him on his eBay listings, but it's a really nice, vigorous plant. I've only had this 2 years, and I mean, you can see I got it as a pretty small plant, and it's already at least tripled in size. Over here, this is a Morii called All Green White Windows from Phil F. Over in North Carolina. Got it from him a few years ago, and again, really like the shape on these. I think that's something that's important to look at when you're looking at Sarracenia and trying to breed and come up with nice offspring. I think shape is something that really comes into play. So as we move across, this is a Copper Veins Flava caprea from Cook's Carnivorous Plants. Really tall, skinny pitchers, but I love the look of it. And then here is one of Phil Felizi's trademark Morii. This is Hot Lips here. Sorry for the jostling. Yeah, you can see it got shipped here this spring, so it's still kind of settling in, but you can see the potential on that. And I imagine in the fall it's going to have some really, really nice pictures showing up. And here are some complex hybrids. This one I actually grew from seed. A lot of these are just from various growers, but this is my sort of choice area for stuff that I'm really excited about. You can see it gets full sun, so I want to leave it kind of by itself where it's going to not have to worry about getting shaded out by anything else. This is, I think, Leah Wilkerson by Saurus right here from Carson Trexler. And again, really nice shape on that. This is Phil Clone 7. You can see why everybody really likes these. Just solid red, gorgeous pictures. Really, really nice plant. Moving along, this is an Alabamensis by Jonesy that looks very, very dominant for Alabamensis. Got that from Mark Reinke in South Carolina. Here's an Oreophylla clone that's probably in more shade than it should be. And then there's another Morii from Dean Cook, a really nice one. This is a Splinter Hill Leucophila, and it's by far my most vigorous Leucophila clone. In the fall, it has just big, strong, sturdy pitchers, which is what I really, really like to have that fall show. Not really that unique of a plant. I'm sure a lot of people have it, but really like how vigorous and beautiful it is. And it just comes up consistently, even in the spring, which is a challenge for me, is getting good spring pitchers on my Leucophila. This is a Flava caprea, as you can tell. I believe this one is Botanique's clone. Again, really, really vigorous. And it pitchers all the way through the summer, which is a big thing for me with Flava, is that they're not done after that first flush. This thing pitchers consistently, basically all through July for me. So, really nice plant there. Here's one of my seedlings that I'm really excited about. This thing has some really crazy lids and just a crazy pitcher shape. It's a pretty young plant, but I'm excited to see when it's a big mother plant what it looks like. I mean, it's very, very unusual, so it's probably not for everybody, but for me, that's a really cool plant that stands out. This is probably my tallest plant in the collection. This is a Blood Moon, I think, by Flava caprea, and it just every spring is eager to get up. Very tall, very stout, sturdy pitchers. Don't have to worry about them blowing away in the wind or anything like that. Not the most unique plant, but just a really nice one to have if you want a big old Sarracenia in your collection. And then here's another Flava caprea. This is the first one I got when I got back into carnivorous plants. This one's from Dean Cook as well. And now we're probably moving to one of my favorite areas of the collection. These are the Catesby's. So, these first two are from Calen Hall, and they are two of my very, very favorite plants. One is Flava Improved Black Veins by, I believe, Rosea, and I think that's this one, which has the more red body on it. But really cool plant there. Very excited about that one. And then this one is Purpurea montana by Flava Improved Black Veins. So same Flava, but different Purpurea varieties here. And also really, really nice. Can't even tell which one I like better, but they're both great plants, and I can't wait to see just how these grow and how they look when they're even bigger. And then this one is a Catesbii crossed back with a very veiny Flava. I don't remember the exact cross off the top of my head, but again, from Calen Hall. If you want good veiny Catesbiis and really nice plants, definitely reach out to him. He is by far one of, if not my very favorite vendor to buy from. And then here is another just general Catesbii from Dean Cook. And it is, geez, I believe Purpurea montana by just a regular Flava. And then here's a Micheliana. They always look a little bit less impressive in the spring than the fall for me. But even in the spring, this looks pretty decent, I'd say. Here is my Flava Improved Black Veins. Got this directly from Mike Wang not long ago. Really, really nice plant. Obviously, it's gorgeous, grows pretty quick. Again, pictures throughout the summer, which is very important to me. But it just, nothing else has a pattern like this. This is a really unique, very cool plant. And then this is one that I also got from Mark Reinke over in South Carolina, Marble Branch Farms. This is an Atropurpurea Flava from Miramar Beach, Florida. And I've seen a lot of Rubicorpas and Ornatas from down there, but I haven't seen a lot of Atropurpureas. So yeah, I'm excited to see this one. It has been repotted, so it's not quite as flush red throughout as it normally is. But I still trust that by the end of the summer, this will be solid red all the way from head to toe. So a really cool plant there. Here's a nice complex hybrid from Jeremiah Harris. I could not recall the name of that off the top of my head to save my life, so I won't even try, but it's a gorgeous plant. And then here is a Flava Maxima from Meadowview. Meadowview Research Station in Virginia. Really, really cool pictures on that. Tall, stout, one of the first to come up in the spring. Just a very, very nice plant for us. Here is Doreen's Colossus, living up to her name. Got this 2 years ago, and it's just grown exponentially. And you can see the flies love it. But gorgeous, gorgeous plant, really vigorous. Excited to grow that one into a big specimen, like you've seen other people growing it into gigantic specimens that swallow up whole pots. Here's one of my minor Oaky Giants, just getting going for the year. There's a hybrid. This is, I think, Alucard by Doreen's Colossus. A little bit younger, but definitely looking very nice. And so now I'll show you, this is my favorite Purpurea in the entire collection. And I nearly lost it last year. It had an issue with a fungal disease. Thought I was going to lose the entire plant, but thankfully it survived and I was able to limp it through the winter, and it's come back. And this is Purpurea variety Purpurea from Ontario in Canada, crossed with Montana. And it handles the southern heat surprisingly well for a Purpurea that's supposed to be two of the less heat tolerant varieties, I would say. But it handles it great, and I'm really excited to see it bounce back. It's a very fast grower, so hopefully before too long that'll be back to its original size. And here are the specimen plants. So these are the biggest, nicest ones. We put them near the back so they won't shade everybody out. This is Alucard by Reptilian Rose from Jeremiah Harris. Of course, the nicest picture is facing away. But yeah, really nice plant. Distinct veins, really cool shape. Repotted it into this 4-gallon pot, and it's just done really well ever since. Here is Blood Moon. One of definitely the nicest plants in my collection. Having a great, great spring. I mean, living up to its name, that is just solid red. Really nice picture shape. Very cool colors. A great, great plant. Here is my my Adrian Slack, and it's shorter pictures, but it's a whole lot of them. It does pretty well down here in the southern heat. It definitely tends to like the heat a little bit more than some of your milder climates. But this year it just doesn't have any really big pictures, but they're very colorful and very small and still a really nice plant, so I'm enjoying it definitely. But yeah, hopefully in the fall I get some big pictures, but we'll see. And then here is Super Heavy Veins, another creation of Phil Felizi. And again, probably my favorite of his Morii. And again, the reason is because I really like the shape. I just think it's a really nice looking plant. Here's my clump of Leo Wilkerson. This I've had for 3 years, got it as a pretty young plant. But yeah, I just put it in a big pot and watched it go. Not a lot of care on this one. So if you get one of these and you're looking to grow a big specimen, it definitely doesn't take very much. Just kind of let it do its thing. I've got it in a 3.5 gallon pot, and it seems to like that, although I'll probably need to repot it this year. But yeah, just put it in a big pot, let it do its thing. Really definitely likes the southern heat as well. This is the first year actually for me that it's produced a second spring wave of pitchers. So all these big stout ones are the first ones to come up, the really, really nice ones. And then this one is actually the first of the second wave, you can see kind of coming up. Usually I get a first wave and then I start getting some non-carnivorous leaves, and then from there it's just nothing until fall. But yeah, this year it decided to grace me with the second wave, which I'm very happy about. Here is a Flava Rugelii from Sumatra, Florida. Got this from Jeremiah Harris. One of my favorite Flava in the entire collection. I just really think that purple throat there, the sort of chartreuse color on the pictures, a very nice plant for sure. And then here is a Leucophila dominant hybrid Mark Reinke calls white flop top. And it's more colorful in the fall, but in the spring it's definitely no slouch. Really, really nice plants. Very excited about this one. Has this really distinct color in the fall that I'll definitely update you on, but it is a great looking plant for sure. Sorry, the horseflies are checking me out over here. All right, so we'll do one final kind of lap around just to give you an idea of where everything's at. But yeah, I hope you liked the video. Definitely let me know if there's anything you want to see a video on in the future. I'm happy to do that. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them for sure. Definitely reach out and contact me. If you like the video, please go ahead and click like. That helps us out. And if you want to see more videos in the future, please go ahead and click subscribe so that you can follow all of our videos. I think in the future we're going to be doing a sort of how-to series on growing pitcher plants from seed. So if that's something you're interested in, please go ahead and click subscribe. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.